Hey guys, my name is Justin and welcome to Hillsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe. Okay, so today I wanted to introduce something a little unusual maybe? Nevertheless, something I'm like super excited about. A while ago in the community, is that what it's called? I don't know. I put out a poll to see like if people were interested in me making bag recommendations based off of like a questionnaire. The results I got were like, pretty much, yeah, people wanted. What I did was I developed like a bit of a questionnaire. Right now, I kind of kept it simple, like multiple choice, but then as time goes on, maybe it'll evolve and change, whatever. But I did have someone kind of answer it as a test to see how it would go. And that person is my sister. And then I'm going to be making bag recommendations off of some of the answers. And now as you're watching this, I will put the link to the questionnaire if you want to participate into the description, and I'll probably drop it somewhere in the community or something like that. And I'll like have be like a timed response. I'll probably keep it open for like a week or so or whatever, just to get some answers in. And then I'm thinking, because I'm realizing that this is actually kind of tough, I'll probably do it maybe once a month, but we'll also see how that goes too. So when looking at the answers to this questionnaire, I am going to be focusing on like specific questions to get kind of like ideas for bag recommendations. And this is kind of what I did with this first one. I took in all the answers together to kind of like create this image of this person, who happens to be my sister, who I already know, but I think it would be fun to see like with like strangers or new friends or something like that, where it would go. Taking in all the answers and kind of creating this image of a person, and then still focusing on different like questions. And then in this questionnaire, there's also some more like practical questions like budget. Also, do you have a favorite brand? Just to give a little bit of style, because like the questions, I didn't want to make it about like direct style questions. I wanted them to be a little bit kind of like parallel to like a lifestyle, to just kind of like give me just the most faint whisper of a basic idea of a person. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Alright, so without further ado, let's take a look at these bag recommendations. Okay, so the first answer that kind of caught my attention was to the question, rain clouds are approaching and you have no immediate shelter, what do you do? And they picked the answer, doesn't matter, packed my umbrella for this reason exactly. When I think about that question, mixing in all the other things that I learned about her during the rest of this questionnaire, this is someone who like appreciates utility a bit and appreciates being able to like be prepared for things while still like being stylish, being like, you know, well put together. So this is why the first bag I wanted to recommend is a bag from The Row called the Soft Margot 15. So that's just like size, whatever. At least that's what I thought I wanted to recommend at first. Because after I like kind of looked through some more of the answers, I actually want to switch it to the Margot Inside Out 17. It's a tote, but then it looks like the Margot if you had flipped it inside out. So when you flip it inside out, it adds a little bit of this kind of uniqueness. It makes it look a little bit more sporty. It adds a little bit of quirkiness. And that's why I think it fits my sister very well. I think one of the great things about this bag is that it's big, but it doesn't seem too big. Like 17 inches is like a little bit wider than that, right? So then that's kind of like the dimension. So it is kind of a big tote, but I mean, when I see this answer about like, you know, being prepared, I think this is a perfect bag for that. And the fact that the top of it has like a little drawstring opening, I think is great, because then you can like really pack stuff in there. Really like load it up. But honestly, I think my favorite thing about this bag is that it has this sort of like understated elegance through its sportiness. Like the way that the regular Margot is, it's a very clean bag. It's almost a bit boring. But then when the Olsen twins decided to flip this bag inside out, they created a whole other sort of like element for it to play with. I don't know, it feels a lot more expensive, even though it's like the whole idea is that it's like flipped inside out. I mean, when I think of my sister, I think expensive. Okay, so the next answer that I kind of wanted to take a stab at. So this question really, I put it in there because I was like, yeah, this is a good question. And then the answer that my sister picked I think is probably one of the funnier answers. So the question is, how often do you lie? And my sister answered with, I have not told a lie in my life, in parentheses, lying. So the thing that stands out to me about answering this question in that way is that there's a certain playfulness where like, it's the whole idea of like people going on the internet and like lying for fun, because it is fun, you know. I've lied to you before. Let me know in the comments if you think you know where I've lied. I'm just kidding. I've never lied to you guys in my life. Anyways, with that answer, to me, there's kind of this like playful deception, a little bit of like silliness as well. And that is why the bag I wanted to recommend from Thom Browne, it's the Black Pebble Grain Leather Stripe Gross Grain Chain Hector Flat Bag. Literally had to read that because it's the longest name for a bag I've seen in a while. But this bag is adorable. It has like Hector, like the dog, is stuck onto this bag, even though it's like it's a rectangular flat bag. I think that's hilarious. I think Thom Browne is more known for like the whole animal with like a handle added, but then to me this is even more playful because it's kind of like that combination of like practical and surreal. One detail that I actually really like about this bag, you have this gold chain, but then having the red, white, and blue gross grain ribbon going like interwoven inside the chain. I think that really adds to that kind of like aloofness. That's what makes this bag perfectly fit the way you like answer the question with like that playfulness. It's a super playful bag and it feels a little deceptive because it just looks kind of like, at first glance, it looks kind of like a basic bag and you see there's these little dog parts stuck on. Alright, so the next answer I wanted to talk about is to the question, I guess it's not really a question, it's a statement, but it's, you've just entered a room full of people. She chose, what is this room and why am I here? Very like, I don't want to say like paranoid, but also kind of like you want to get all of your facts straight beforehand, right? So you want to be prepared for whatever's happening in there. And I totally get it, I'm the same way. Maybe for me it's a little bit more like anxiety, because like, why am I going here? Like, what is the point? Like, I don't need to be surrounded by people. One thing too is she also mentioned one of her favorite brands being like Valentino with their like studs and like use of hardware in that way. So for me, this next bag kind of helps pull that in as well, which I think some of the other bags did just fine, but this one I kind of want to point out. So the bag that I recommend based on this answer is by Issey Miyake, and it's called the Sparkle Spiral Grid. So this bag is made out of artificial leather, and then you can see it's kind of connected by these studs in this kind of like pattern, right, going up. But I think what's remarkable about this bag is that this is a bag that actually can transform. Like honestly, this is like a bag in disguise. With this bag, there's more than meets the eye. I'm very proud of myself, just so you know. It can actually kind of like twist and elongate and become like a bigger bucket bag. So to me, it feels very like, you know, you're prepared for whatever. If you need it to be like closed up, you need to be ready to run and go, boom, you're ready. But if you need to like be able to carry some more things, twist it open, boom, you're also prepared. And then for me, like, it's not the same thing, but I think the use of like the grid of the studs matching like the pyramid studs in a way of like Valentino, it just gave me a similar energy, and I felt like this was maybe a perfect bag to kind of bring up as a comparison, even though this is done in a completely different way, I think. And if you know me, you know I love a bag with versatility, and this bag has that. It has a top handle, it has a strap that you can use as a crossbody, shorten it to make it a shoulder strap. I think this bag is perfect for the girl who's in an unusual backrooms-esque type situation, maybe, and needs to be ready for whatever's coming her way. Alright, so next answer to this question, I already knew this. My sister's like a clean freak. She's like crazy when it comes to how clean her house is. It's amazing. It's a good thing. How often do you tidy your house? And she answered, constantly. You'll rarely find anything out of place. Knowing that, seeing some of the other answers before, what's a bag that has utility, it has style, but most importantly of all, it has great organization so that you can keep the insides of your bag as neat and tidy as your home. Instantly, my mind went to Bottega Veneta, the Andiamo bag. So this bag was actually in my most recent Battle Royale, the tote bag Battle Royale. I'll link it up in the corner. I actually do really respect this bag. It is kind of a basic shape in the end, except for when you take a look at the details and how the construction of it is put together. And the way that it's done is so smart, where you have these different sized compartments with different pockets, and then there's just a lot of versatility to this bag as well. You can carry it by the top handle, you can carry it by the shoulder, you can make it into a crossbody. I just think this bag is very smart when it comes to organization. I think this is kind of like the bag. I know it's super viral, especially since, what was his name? Jacob Elordi was seen carrying it, or maybe it's just I'm considering it like that because like I'm like, oh, Jacob. I don't really know what he does. Alright, and then the last bag I want to recommend is based off of this question. Let's take a walk. Where do you want to go? And then my sister answered, let's do some laps around the mall, / up and down the shopping street, etc. I mean, I live in Europe now. I don't like, sure, there's malls, but there's also just a main shopping street here, so... Okay, but then this answer is why I wanted to recommend a bag by Loewe, and that is called the Paseo. So this bag is kind of tote-ish shaped. It's shaped very like, if you look at the shape of the bag, it looks like a dumpling. It's like, it's literally like, it looks like a dumpling to me. You can carry it by the top handle, but you can kind of like lengthen the handle so that you can also wear it on the shoulder. I think what's great too is that the shape of this bag is fun, but it's also very elegant, and it feels like something that, I'm not saying this is like the point of wearing things or why my sister would like this bag, but it feels expensive. There's a certain architecture to it, but it's very soft that makes it feel like more designed than anything. This bag is kind of like pulled from the archives by Jonathan Anderson at Loewe, but I think the way that it's been updated, it also feels very modern. There's a certain timelessness to it, but then the way it looks now is like a lot more cleaner than I would say the ones before used to look. Another thing that I wanted to point out about this bag that's really cool is it actually has like a shoulder strap, like a long strap. I don't know if it can go long enough to become crossbody, but I mean, my family's short, so I'm sure my sister could make it work, you know, well, whatever. If you're gonna be walking through a mall, walking up and down a shopping street, you wanna kind of like, want to show off a little bit, right? You want to also have a bag that maybe not many people have known before. And I think Loewe is that brand when it comes to having a bag that people maybe don't know, but when people see it, they know it looks expensive. And for me, that is why this bag is perfect for that. So those are the bag recommendations I made for my sister as part of the like beta testing, rollout, soft launch of this like bag recommendations. I'm really hoping that you enjoyed this and that you also want to participate. So again, in the community and in the description, you will see the bag recommendation. It's a Google form. Have fun with it. I would recommend, if you think you have like an answer that would be more clever than any of the multiple choices I said, try and go for it, because I think it's always fun when someone like speaks through like words. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy seeing me make recommendations for someone you don't know? I would definitely say this is like one of the more fun and interesting opportunities for us to interact. So I would absolutely like love for you guys to have fun, fill it out, and we'll go from there. We'll keep learning and changing, and we'll see how it goes. Also, if you're my sister and you watched it, let me know how I did, I guess. But maybe just text me, because then I don't want people to see how bad I did, so. Okay, but that is all I have for you today. So if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind design and luxury. Until next time. Oh, my foot fell asleep. Oh.